Hello everyone, welcome to Learn German Online with Schneider Institute. Today we're going to be learning demonstrative pronomen, which is demonstrative pronouns. Okay, so before we go into demonstrative pronoun, first of all, I'd like to point out the demonstrative pronouns in English. Here we have this. This is a demonstrative pronoun. We also have these, which is also a demonstrative pronoun. Now, if you look at this carefully, what's the difference between this and that, as well as these and those? Obviously, proximity, I would say, is the difference. So this has to do with objects close to you, while that has to do with objects far away. Yeah? That is the boy over there. This is the boy here. Yeah? Or ball in that case. Okay, now in German, we have dies and jen. But the good thing is, I wouldn't say if it's a good thing though, but you just have these in most German texts. You hardly see them use words yen. So today we're basically going to be talking about these. All right, so let's look at this now. Now, the demonstrative pronouns actually replaces the article in the sentence, which means if I'm using a demonstrative pronoun, I won't be using the definite article. Neither would I be using the indefinite article. So here we have this. Recall I told you this is the actual demonstrative pronoun, but in this case, we have to negate the ending. So it's more like it uses the adjective ending. So for masculine noun der, in the nominative case, we'll add er to the demonstrative pronoun. The same applies to the neutral noun, but in this case, we're no longer adding as. As you can see er here, we're simply adding es. Now for the feminine and plural noun, all we need to simply do is add the e ending. So here we have dieser, you can repeat that, dieser, dieses, diese, and diese. So hier haben wir dieser, dieses, diese und diese. So these are the demonstrative pronouns in the nominative case. Now, I'm going to look at sentences with these demonstrative pronouns. Here we have a sentence that says, Dieser Krieg muss enden. Dieser Krieg muss enden. This simply means this war has to end. This war has to end. Now, why do we have dieser here? The reason for this, normally we say der Krieg, which is the war. But in this case, I'm saying this war. So that is why I have dieser Krieg muss enden. So I'm taking er from the article, the table we just talked about previously. I just simply took er, which is the ending for the definite article, and added it to the demonstrative pronoun. Here we also have diese Suppe schmeckt nicht gut. Diese Suppe schmeckt nicht gut, which simply means this soup doesn't taste what? Good. Yeah? This soup doesn't taste good. Diese Suppe schmeckt nicht gut. Now here we have a feminine noun, die Suppe. So recall I told you I'll simply replace the definite article with the demonstrative pronoun, which is why I have diese. Diese Suppe schmeckt nicht gut. Okay, now over here I have the neutral noun, which is das Auto. Das Auto. And here it says, dieses Auto hat eine helle Farbe. Dieses Auto hat eine helle Farbe, which simply means this car has a bright color, or you can say this car has a light color. Here I have dieses. Recall the table says for neutral we add es instead of as. Okay, so we have dieses Auto hat eine helle Farbe. Now we're going to go over to the accusative form for these demonstrative pronouns. Here we have den. If you're used to the cases in German, you already know we have the nominative subject case, the accusative, which is the direct object case. Here we have den. Obviously, in the accusative form, the masculine article changes from der to den. And as you can see here, previously we had der, and here we have den, while other articles remains the same. So the neutral remains, the feminine, and the plural as well. All right, so for the demonstrative pronouns, all we have here is diesen, dieses, diese, and diese. So The only thing that changed here is the masculine, diesen, diesen. Okay, so now we're going to look at sentences with the demonstrative pronouns in the accusative case. So over here, we have the neutral noun das Buch. Wir lesen dieses Buch, which simply means we are reading this book. Recall, for das Buch, we simply have es instead of as. Now, down here, I have, kennen Sie diese Straße? Of course, this S here simply indicates the estate. So kennen Sie diese Straße? Now, let's try to identify the subject of the sentence and the direct object of the sentence, since we're considering the accusative case. Here we have kennen Sie diese Straße. So the subject of the sentence here is going to be this, Sie. Do you know this street? Do you know this street? So you are the person, subject of the sentence, while the street is the direct object of the sentence, receiving the action from the verb kennen. So, kennen Sie diese Straße, which means do you know this street? Here, we have diese Straße because the article here is die Straße. So I can simply say, if I'm using definite article, kennen Sie die Straße? Kennen Sie die Straße? But in this case, since I have the demonstrative pronoun, I'm saying kennen Sie diese Straße. Here we have, wie findest du diese Taschen? Wie findest du diese Taschen? Here we have the subject do, and we have the direct object, Taschen, plural, and the ending here for the demonstrative pronoun is e. Wie findest du diese Taschen? How do you see this table? More like, what do you think of this table? Wie findest du diese Taschen? So now let's look at the dative case. Now for the dative case, recall I have the definite article here as well. Them for neutral, der for feminine, and den for plural. So we have diesem, diesem, dieser, and diesen. Diesem, diesem, dieser, diesen. Okay, now let's look at a couple of examples. Here I have, ich kaufe diesem Kind ein Eis. Ich kaufe diesem Kind ein Eis. In our previous lesson, we talked about the cases in German, the dative case. And if you look closely here, you will notice that we have the subject of the sentence, we have the direct object of the sentence, and we also have the indirect object of the sentence. Ich kaufe diesem Kind ein Eis. Ich kaufe diesem Kind ein Eis, which means I am buying this child ice cream. Now, here we have the indirect object of the sentence, dative case. For das Kind, as such, we have diesem Kind ein Eis. So this is the indirect object of the sentence, this is the direct object of the sentence, while this is the subject of the sentence. Here we have, gibt dieser Frau einen Kuss. Gibt dieser Frau einen Kuss, which means he's giving this lady a kiss. Yeah? He's giving this lady a kiss. So you can also translate this to he's kissing the lady. Now here we have gibt dieser. Now why do we have dieser here? Because in this case we have the indirect object of the sentence, feminine changes to der, in dative case. Einen Kuss, of course, accusative case, which is einen. Down here we have, der Polizei sucht nach diesen Leute. The police is searching for, searching for these people. Now here we have the dative case. Nach is a dative preposition. As such, recall we talked about dative preposition already. Nach brings about the dative case, diesen, and for the dative plural nouns, if it doesn't end with the N, if the noun doesn't end with an N, you have to add the N. Der Polizei sucht nach diesen Leuten. So this here is for the dative case. Now let's look at the genitive case. Now the genitive, here we have, of course, genitive indicates possession. We talked about that already. Des, dieses, der, dieser, der, dieser. So masculine, neutral, feminine, and the plural. Now let's look at a couple of examples as well. Here I have, ich mag die Farbe dieses Hauses. Ich mag die Farbe dieses Hauses. This simply means I like the color of this house. Here, I like the color of this house. Now, if you look closely here, you notice this. We'll have dieses and we'll have houses, of course. For genitive case, for masculine and neutral noun, we'll add es when it's just a syllable. And then when it's more than that, we'll simply add s to the noun. So here we have Ich mag die Farbe dieses, which is obviously the case study here, houses. Here we have Die Sitze dieses Zuges sind bequem. The seats of this train are comfortable. The seats of this train are comfortable, which simply means that in this case we have the subject of the sentence, the seat, the chair, yeah? And then we'll have the possessive form here, which is dieses Zuges. Recall I told you es is added when it's just a syllable. And then here we'll have sind bequem, yeah? So we'll have the genitive form here, which is dieses. And down here we'll have the plural noun. Die Eltern dieser Kind sind arm. The parents of these children are poor. Now recall I told you that for the plural case it takes der. As such you have er. Die Eltern dieser Kinder sind arm. The parents of these children are poor. So as you can see here, we've been able to look at demonstrative pronouns. If you know the article of the definite, the form of the definite article, then you can simply determine the demonstrative form. All you have to do for the neutral noun is simply do es instead of as. And for the feminine and plural, for D, for instance, you simply add e. For plural as well, you add e. So if you master the definite article table and the cases, nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive, then you can simply apply this properly in your sentence. Don't forget, this and these still remains the same in German. In English language, you have this and you have these. So it remains the same. It's just the ending that determines, and the noun that determines whether it's a singular noun or a plural noun. All right, so if you have any questions so far, you can simply write me in the comment section. Any question at all as regards to demonstrative pronoun, you can write in the comment section. We can get back to you as soon as possible. Don't forget to follow also on Instagram at Schneider Institute. Click the subscribe button below. And thank you very much. Vielen Dank und bis nächstes Mal.